Professional Magazine's webinar titled Spring into Renovation Season with Fannie Mae's HomeStyle and HomePath Renovation Products, sponsored and presented by REMN. I would like to thank all of our webinar attendees for taking the time out of their busy days for this very valuable and informative webinar in our ongoing series of webinars. We will be sending out a recording of the webinar and a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to all registrants, so you don't have to worry about going furiously taking notes. Before we get started, though, we're going to ask a couple of poll questions just to see who we have with us today and how familiar you are with the products we're going to be discussing. So I'm going to put the first question up right now, and if you could please answer that, I'll give you a couple seconds to answer, and then we'll discuss the results. The first question is, how familiar are you with the HomeStyle or HomePath renovation products? And the choices are very familiar, somewhat familiar, or no clue. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to answer, and then I'm going to close the poll and share the results. Okay, so it's closed and I'm sharing, and we are going to do a lot of learning today. 5% of you are very familiar, 63% of you are somewhat familiar, and 32% of you have no clue. We'll be changing that today. You will definitely have a clue by the end. Okay, and we are going to do one more poll question before we get started. And that is simply, who is with us today? Are you a REMN approved broker? Are you a broker not approved with REMN? Are you a realtor or other? Going to give you a few more seconds to answer, and then we'll close this one as well. Okay, I'm going to share the results with you right now. 47% of you are REMN approved brokers. 25% are brokers not approved with REMN. 3% are realtors, and 26% of you answered other. Okay, so before we get on to this presentation, I just wanted to introduce Carl Markman. He's the Director of National Sales for the Wholesale Division at REMN, and he will introduce our presenters and get this going. So over to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Beverly, and thank you all for attending this very informative webinar. Before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that these products, these loan products, are the most sought after by all of our broker partners out there, and this is what most of the realtor contacts are looking for more information. So I'd just like to introduce Pam Seifert, our Director of National Training. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. And thank you again for joining. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to go over the conventional renovation products, which is the reason why you joined, HomeStyle and HomePath Renovation. We're going to show you how to determine max loan amounts, go through the renovation process, talk about some lenders, and then we are going to talk about selling and marketing. And then finally, we are going to have a question and answer period. So please feel free at any time during the presentation to ask your questions in the webinar panel so that we can get to those at the end. For those questions we don't get to, we will be answering them after the webinar is over, and we will be sending out a Q&A with also, as Beverly mentioned, a copy of the presentation. So what are our conventional renovation products? Well, they're HomeStyle and HomePath Renovation, and those are conventional products. Which is different than your 203Ks, which you're used to looking at and using for your FHA renovation products. So this is your conventional counterpart. It enables borrowers to finance repairs and improvements with a single close. The borrower's contractors will complete agreed-upon repairs to subject property after the loan closes, and then the contractors are going to be receiving those payments after completing the repairs. So you have borrowers that are going to be closing on a loan and then have the repairs all happen after the loan closes. So there is a post-closing life for the HomeStyle and HomePath renovation loan. So first we're going to tackle the HomeStyle renovation. The HomeStyle highlights are borrowers are able to make renovation repairs or improvements totaling up to 50% of the as-completed value of the property with a first mortgage. So as you can see, the as-completed value becomes very, very important. And you will notice during this presentation, we really don't talk about what the current value of the property is. Fannie Mae really only takes into consider what the after improved, the after completed value of the property is once the rehab repairs have been completed. So for example, if we have an as completed value of a home of $200,000, we can have a total repair cost up to $100,000. So it's really 50% of the as completed value. And I also want to point out that it's total repair cost. So that doesn't just include what the labor and material is. It does include a few other things as well. So just be aware of that, and we're going to discuss that a little later on. This product is offered on purchases and rate and terms only. There is no cash out to the borrower, and that is, you're going to see that also throughout the process. No cash out to the borrower. Fannie Mae offers the HomeStyle on 1 to 4 unit owner-occupied properties, 1 unit second homes, and 1 unit investment properties. Now, these are Fannie Mae highlights. I want to make sure to remind everyone, check with your current lender to see what they are offering as well. The subject property may be existing or new, and it's available on condos, modular homes, and PUDs that all meet Fannie Mae guidelines. In addition, condos do have a couple of extra requirements, such as the renovation work has to be permissible under the bylaws of the HOA. The work is going to be limited to the interior of the unit, including installation of firewalls in the attic. Manufactured homes are not eligible under the HomeStyle product from Fannie Mae. And any loan that has an LTV above 80, you are going to require mortgage insurance, which is just going to be your standard mortgage insurance. Here are your HomeStyle LTV limits, and this I want to make sure that everyone sees. This is when you're running it through DU. So you're able to have a 1 to 2 unit owner-occupied property up to 95, as well as a 1 unit second home up to 95. 3 to 4 unit owner-occupieds are 80%, and your 1 unit investors have a max LTV of 80%. So let's talk about your max loan amount. Remember what we said before. For your LTVs are going to be based on the as completed value plus your total renovation cost, and they can't exceed 50% of the as completed value. Now on purchase transactions, what you would do is you would take the lower of your purchase price plus your total renovation cost or the as completed value and then multiply that by your LTV. So in this example, we have a sales price of $100,000. Your total renovation costs are $25,000. Your as completed value when you get that appraisal is going to be $150,000. And you know your borrowers are going to be putting 10% down with max LTV of 90%. So your max loan amount is going to be the lower of your sales price plus your renovation cost, which is $125,000, or the as completed value of $150,000. So we know $125,000 is lower. Times that by your LTV of 90%, and you have your max loan amount of $112,250. That's how easy it is to determine what your max loan amount will be. Now we do have another poll question based on what we just discussed, and this is just to make sure that everyone completely understands the concept. So Beverly, could you launch that one, please?
Absolutely. So our next poll question is, if an after improved value of the subject property is $150,000, what is the maximum total repair cost allowed? And the choices are $150,000, $100,000, $75,000, or $50,000. If you could vote now, and I'll leave it open for about 30 seconds and let you get a chance to vote. All right, I'm going to close it up in a few more seconds, so just make sure you vote. Okay, I'm going to close it and show the results. Wow, this is an overwhelming majority of 86% said 75,000. 9% of you said 50,000. 3% of you said 100,000, and 2% of you said 150,000.
Well, congratulations to the 86%. That is correct. It would be the correct answer is 75,000. If we have an as-completed value of 150,000, we're able to finance up to 75,000, which is 50% of the as-completed value in total repair costs. So your HomeStyle refinance loan amount. Now remember, we just covered what the purchase max loan amount is. Now this is for your refinance transactions. So once again, this product is also great for your past customers that may need to do additional repairs to their homes or perhaps need some updating. So once again, for refinances, it's the same concept. Your LTV is going to be based on your as-completed value and total renovation costs, and that cannot exceed 50% of the as-completed value. Now, this is key because if you remember on your 203K refinance transactions, you have to determine your base loan amount also has to do with the as-is value is part of the calculation. That is not the case for HomeStyle conventional renovation loans. So when you're looking at your HomeStyle and you're looking at a refinance, you have a lot more wiggle room there because you're not looking at what the current value is. You're only looking at what the as-completed value is after the rehab, and that really can help a lot of your borrowers. To determine the max loan amount, you're going to take the lesser of the unpaid principal balance plus your total renovation costs, and once again, we're going to go through what total renovation costs mean in just a couple of minutes, plus your closing costs, and you're going to compare that to the as-completed value and times that by your max LTV. So in this example, we have an unpaid principal balance of $125,000, our total renovation costs are $25,000, and our closing costs are $95,000. Your as-completed value is going to be $200,000, and we're going to times that by our LTV of 80%. So we're going to take the lower of the two calculations, which would be the unpaid principal balance, total renovation costs, and your closing costs, which equal $159,500. So that would be your max loan amount for your refinance transactions on the HomeStyle loan. Now we're going to move on to HomePath. And remind you that take a look at this logo on this screen because that logo is going to be very important to determine if a loan can go through the HomePath Renovation Mortgage Loan Program. So a HomePath Renovation allows borrowers to purchase and renovate a Fannie Mae owned REO property with a single close. So this is a little different than HomeStyle. HomeStyle is where the sellers can be just about anyone, but in HomePath Renovation, it has to be a Fannie Mae REO property. And because it's a Fannie Mae owned property, it is for purchases only. There are no refinances, so it's only purchases. And the subject must be owned by Fannie Mae as the seller and designated eligible for the HomePath Renovation product. So how would you know that a loan is designated properly? You have to go to www.homepath.com and look at the listing detail, and it will show you there whether or not that property is subject to the HomePath Renovation Program and if it's eligible for that. So that is extremely important. That is the only way to prove that the subject property is eligible for the HomePath Renovation. Your highlights for your HomePath Renovation Program is your total renovation cost, and that includes your labor and material, contingency, and like I said, we'll talk about what total renovation costs are in just a minute, is limited to 35% of the as-completed value, but no more than $35,000. So as you remember when we were talking about HomeStyle, HomeStyle does not have that limit. They have the limit to 50%. And they don't have a value as to the $35,000 max amount that the total repairs can be. Your HomePath renovation is limited. So for those that are familiar with your FHA 203K Streamline, this is sort of the equivalent of that. But this is, like I said, for your Fannie Mae REO properties only. So for example, your as-completed value can be $200,000, but your max total renovation cost still can only be $35,000, even though 35% of $200,000 is $70,000. And that's because, like I said, it's limited to either 35% of the as-completed value, but you can't have more than total repairs more than $35,000. So you are more limited on the HomePath renovation product. Also, the borrower cannot pay out of pocket for additional repairs beyond the maximum loan amount. So it's not like your borrower can say, well, I want to buy this HomePath renovation product. I want to buy this subject property that's eligible for that, but I'll put in an extra $20,000 and finance that in. That is not eligible per Fannie Mae guidelines. It's offered on 1 to 4 unit owner-occupied properties, 1 unit second homes, and 1 to 4 unit investment properties. Now, once again, I'm going to caution everyone, please check with your lenders to make sure that what your actual owner-occupied and subject properties are allowed. It may be new or existing properties. Your condos, modular homes, and PUDs have to meet Fannie Mae guidelines. And additional condo requirements, the lender is not required to warrant the condo to Fannie Mae guides. And that's a big one. And you have to think of it sort of like this. Fannie Mae already owns the condo. They already own the subject property. They're the seller. So they're not going to make the lender jump through hoops to make sure it's still warrantable. So that is a big seller for your condo product. Your renovation work must be permissible under the bylaws of the HOA, and the work is limited to the interior of the unit. And once again, Fannie Mae states that manufactured homes are not eligible for the HomePath renovation product either. Here's your LTV limits, and once again, I'm going to point out that this is through DU. This isn't through manual underwriting. These are your LTV limits through DU, and once again, let you know, check with your lender's guides. So for your 1 unit owner occupied, you're at 95%, 1 unit second homes 90%, 2 unit owner occupied and 1 unit investment at 85, 3 to 4 unit owner occupied at 75, and then a 2 to 4 unit investment at 75. And in red below, you will see the minimum credit score is 660 when your LTV, CLTV, or ACLTV is over 80%. Once again, that's a Fannie Mae guideline. So with your HomePath renovation, I wanted to discuss mortgage insurance and interested party contributions. Mortgage insurance is not required on this program regardless of the LTV. And I'm going to repeat that again because this is also something that, that is not typical for your normal product, conventional product. If you have an LTV over 80%, mortgage insurance is not required. Also, for your interested party contributions, your owner-occupied homes above 90% LTV allow for a 6% seller concession. Now, normally that is 6% is a little bit higher for above 90%, so you can go to a 95 and still have a 6% seller concession. Now, typically that's not available on your regular Fannie Mae conventional products. Your second homes and your investment properties are standard for your interested party contributions. And why this is so important is because your DU messaging, when you run DU on these products, you're going to receive some messages that you can actually disregard. So when you run a HomePath through DU, it's going to still state that you need a mortgage insurance requirement, and you're able to disregard that. You're also going to be able to disregard the maximum amount of interested party contributions that exceed a primary residence that it has an LTV over 90. Once again, the program guidelines state that you can go over 90% with a 6% seller concession, but DU is not going to read that properly, and that also can be ignored. And then finally, it's going to give you that the cost of improvement is limited to 50%. Now, we all know on this presentation that that is for HomeStyle. Remember, 50% of the as-completed value. HomePath is only 35%. So please make sure that you're not reading your DU findings incorrectly. Finally, DU findings will not indicate the loan is a HomePath. So your max loan amounts for your HomePath, to determine it, you're going to take the lesser of the as-completed value or the purchase price plus your total renovation cost and multiply by the LTV. Once again, always making sure that the renovation costs are less than $35,000 and no more than 35% of the as-completed value. So in my example, I have a sales price of $150,000. We have our total renovation cost of $30,000, an as-completed value of $200,000, and our LTV is going to be 95%. Our total loan amount is going to be $171,000. That's your purchase price plus your total renovation cost times that by 95%. And that is going to be $171,000. So we keep talking about total renovation costs with 35% or the 50%. I just wanted to cover what exactly is total renovation cost. Now, it's the labor and material, so it's the contractor's bids that your borrowers are going to get. But it also includes a contingency reserve that's going to be 10 to 15%, any architect or engineering fees, if applicable, your inspection fees, your title update fee, your permits, if applicable, and then HomeStyle actually even allows you to have a mortgage payment reserve. Now, this is for both products. So these total renovation costs are for your HomeStyle and your HomePath renovation. And I just want to let everyone know about the mortgage payment reserve. If a HomeStyle loan, if the subject property is deemed uninhabitable, then your borrowers are able to finance up to 6 mortgage payments into their loan amount. And like I said, that's for HomeStyle only. So we have our next poll question, and Beverly, I believe this has to do with the next slide, which is what type of repairs are allowed?
Yep, that is exactly what it is. So I'm going to put that poll question up now. What are acceptable repairs or rehab for both the HomeStyle and HomePath renovation programs? And the choices are interior renovation or improvements, fences and landscaping, decks, in-ground swimming pools, and all of the above. Those are your choices, if you could vote now. And while you're voting, I just wanted to remind you, a lot of people are asking, yes, we will be sending out the PowerPoint and a recording of this webinar. So if you missed the beginning, or if you have to leave early for any reason, or if you know someone who missed the webinar, we will be sending you out a copy of the PowerPoint and a recording, so you'll be able to view it again. And we are voting here. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds, and then I will close this poll. Okay, I'm going to close it up right now, and I'll share the results with you. Okay, so 59% of you said interior renovation or improvements, and 40% of you said all of the above. The other choices got 0%.
Well, I will let everybody know, and the next slide will say it all, that the 40% was correct. It is all the above. So the big thing that Fannie Mae has regarding their renovation products is that all repairs and renovation must be permanently affixed to the property, and it must add value. So it does include your renovation or your interior renovation or improvements. It includes fences and landscaping, decks, and even includes an in-ground swimming pool. However, the difference also between 203K FHA renovation products and your Fannie Mae is that appliances are not, if appliances are not permanently affixed, they're not going to be eligible. However, your borrowers then can then put in an in-ground pool as long as it's in-ground, not above ground. Your rehab cannot include new construction, outbuildings, such as detached garage, pool houses, sheds, and barns. So it has to be permanently affixed to the property, add value, but you can't just go out and then start adding additional structures to the property. So more renovation information for both programs. Your renovation must start within 30 days of closing and completed within 180 days of closing. For your HomeStyle only, remember there's no restrictions on the type of repairs as long as they're permanent and add value, and there's no minimum dollar amount for the repairs. HomePath renovation, you're always going to be limited to 35%, or $35,000, whichever is less. So let's talk about the loan process. This guide is going to give you a broad overview of what your loan process is going to look like. Your borrowers are going to go find their property. They're going to choose their lender and the contractor. If it's a HomePath renovation loan, remember the lender must obtain proof that the property is eligible to be a HomePath renovation. And once again, the only true way of knowing is by going to www.homepath.com and looking up the logo for a HomePath renovation. The lender is going to review the contractor plans and bids and accepts the contractor to actually do the repairs and the work after the loan closes. Your appraisal is going to be ordered to determine what the as-completed value is. Once again, that as-completed value is super important. And then the lender is going to calculate what your max loan amount is, underwrite the loan, and clears the loan for closing. Don't we all wish it was that easy that we just underwrite and clear all the loans? The loan is going to close. Your renovation work then begins after the loan closes. And then based on the predetermined draw schedule, the lender is going to be contacted each time a draw is required. And then that lender is going to order inspections just to make sure that the work's been completed satisfactorily, and then release the funds to the borrower and the contractor. Once again, remember, there's no cash back to the borrower, so any unused funds as part of those total repair costs have to be used to pay down the principal. Here is a copy of the renovation disclosures that are needed. The form names on the left-hand side of what is needed for both the HomePath renovation and the HomeStyle. We have a description, when it's required, and who is required to sign each of these documents. Now, not all lenders are created equal, and I wanted to make sure that I included this slide in here. Lenders must meet Fannie Mae's strict requirements in order to offer both your HomeStyle and your HomePath renovation products. It's not like every lender that has Fannie Mae products can offer your HomePath and HomeStyle. You actually have to go through a stringent process and approval through Fannie Mae to be able to even offer to their clients. And lenders like REMN Wholesale are approved by Fannie Mae before offering to their loyal brokers. And one other thing I do want to point out is REMN Wholesale, unlike a lot of other lenders throughout the nation, we're one of the only lenders that actually has an entire suite of renovation products to offer. So not only do we offer the HomePath renovation and HomeStyle renovation, we also offer your FHA 203K Streamlines as well as your 203K full consultant loan. And at this time, I want to introduce Steve Marshall, who is the Director of the Renovation Department at REMN Wholesale.
Thank you,
Steve?
Pam. Yes, thank you, Pam. Good afternoon, everyone. The first thing that we want to take a look at here is just a product comparison. Pam just mentioned that when you're selecting a lender, I think it's important as business professionals that we select a lender that has the full suite of products available, because no one particular product fits all property requirements and or borrower requirements. For an example, the FHA 203K program is a wonderful program for borrowers and properties that fit that profile. But as we know, the FHA program is only available for owner-occupied properties. Well, the Fannie Mae products, the HomeStyle as well as the HomePath, can be utilized not only for the owner-occupied, but also for second homes as well as investment properties. So you can see that the HomeStyle and the HomePath opens up additional sales and marketing opportunities that aren't existent with FHA. The second thing is in 2013, FHA significantly changed their structure as far as mortgage insurance is required, both their upfront mortgage insurance premiums as well as their monthly renewals. And mortgage insurance on FHA is required no matter what the LTV is. However, with Fannie Mae, we know that with the Fannie Mae HomeStyle that mortgage insurance is not required if the LTV is 80% or below. And with the Fannie Mae HomePath product, mortgage insurance is never required because Fannie Mae prices that into their loan because Fannie Mae is self-insuring the product. one of the things, and I know that you professionals who have done renovation loans in the past get this question asked all the time. Can the contractor be a relative of the borrower? Can the father, the stepfather, the aunt, the uncle, the cousins be the contractor? And the answer with FHA is no. FHA says there can be no identity of interest between the contractor and the home buyer. However, that's not a true statement with the Fannie Mae products, which we just went over, which is HomeStyle and HomePath. Pools and luxury type items, and I'm going to talk about them a little different to show you some ways in which you can expand your sales and marketing approach. But luxury items are not allowed with FHA because FHA's product is in theory based on necessities, where Fannie Mae is a lot more liberal, and they allow luxury items to be included. So as you can see, the key when you approach these types of products is to be able to ask the appropriate questions to listen to the response, and then based on the response, whether the response is based on the type of construction that's going to be done, the type of property that you're talking about, and or the buyer's circumstances as far as their income, asset, and credit. Once you get those responses, if you're partnered with a lender that offers all four options, that would be the Streamline as well as the full consulting K, the HomePath and the HomeStyle, you're able to act more in a consultant role and give the client the best product that suits not only their current needs but also their future needs. The next slide that we have here is just an introduction slide that says selling and marketing renovation products. I made some notes, and the notes are that there's a big difference between selling and marketing. Selling is actually something that you do once you have a prospect, where marketing is actually developing the referral sources. So I went on to Google while Pam was talking, and I looked up some terms as far as selling, and one of the descriptions was, and I know the people have heard this before, but it was like the hunter and the gatherer. Have you ever heard the term that salespeople go out and they eat what they kill, they gather their food? And that's probably great. However, every day you got to get up and reinvent yourself. Every day you got to go out and hunt for more food. Where marketing is different, because marketing, what you're really doing is focusing on developing new and exciting relationships, and you're developing business for tomorrow. So it's more like you're planting the seeds, and then you reap the benefits of the crop later in the year. Let's take a look at HomeStyle. Now, when I entered the renovation business back in the early 90s, the only product that was available was the 203K product, and the joke would be we would drive around neighborhoods and we would look for the blue tarps that were on the roofs, or we would search the multiple list of the realtors and we would look for keywords such as handyman specials. And that was true back there in the mid-90s. However, that is not true today. The Fannie Mae HomeStyle product, the average loan sizes nationwide is about 34% higher than FHA. And why is that important? Well, there's a lot of communities throughout the United States where the FHA maximum loan limit is in the low to middle 200,000 range. Where with the Fannie Mae products, even if you don't have a high balance available in your marketplace, you can still go up to $417,000. So what I did is I sat down and I did some reverse engineering as far as some numbers are concerned, and let's assume that a property needed $50,000 worth of upgrades. Well, if you were talking about $50,000 worth of upgrades, you actually could be on a 95% LTV. you could be offering this product for sales prices up to $389,000. I know a person in Delaware who developed a relationship with one of the major pool installation companies in his marketplace. And this guy had never done a renovation loan in his life, and he went out and he heard one of our webinars and started selling it and got this account. And today he's closing a loan for $324,000. It's got $77,000 in pool, putting in a new pool. His average loan size is around 208. So you can see in this particular situation, this individual's average loan size with his renovation loans are significantly higher than that of his normal loans. So I think that this is an opportunity for you all to capture additional volume and additional commission revenue simply because the average loan sizes are going to be higher. Back in 1986 through about 1993, and then again from 2002 to about 2006, there were new construction booms. There was a tremendous growth in the new construction business. And so, you know, when you think of a renovation loan, you think of an older house. Well, maybe you just need to do a little paradigm shift and take a look at, well, these houses that were built in the early 1990s, you know, they are 20-some years old. So HVAC systems, roofs, windows, insulation, appliances might be all outdated, and it's a wonderful opportunity for you to go out and expand your networking. Pam had mentioned refinances. FHA, when you do a refinance with FHA looks at not only the after improved value but also the current value. And I was on Realty Tracks the other day, and even though the homes that are underwater, the percentage-wise is 14% less than what it was last year, there's still like 9 million households that their current mortgage amount is greater than the current value of their house. So FHA for those people would not be a refinance option. However, with the HomeStyle product, it's a wonderful option because the only thing we're going to look at is the after improved value. We talked about luxury items. One of the things that is a growing trend in the home remodeling business is outside living spaces. Many of you all may have that in your current home, where you have very upscale patios that have built-in fire pits and outdoor kitchens attached to them. FHA doesn't allow that, but the Fannie Mae HomeStyle encourages it. You know, marketing your services to major home remodelers who advertise in your local marketplaces, these upscale patios, fire pits, pools, is a great sales and marketing tool for you. The National Association of Home Remodelers estimates that in 2014, in this year, there's going to be an estimated 3.5 million homes remodeled. Well, the Realty Tract is currently saying that the absorption rate for real estate purchases, is going to be about 5 million homes this year. So that means that based on the current absorption rate for purchases, there's 70% more opportunity over here in the home remodeling opportunity. So, I mean, expand the way in which you approach your sales and marketing and include these home remodeling shows and major kitchen and bath and window replacement companies in your marketplace. No MI under 80 and very cheap MI when you have an LTV above 80. But here are the two biggest things about HomeStyle. Number one, it's just standard Fannie Mae guidelines. And there are a lot of people who understand Fannie Mae a lot better than they do FHA. There are people that I know who have refused to ever do a 203K loan because they had heard horror stories about it. Well, all of a sudden, when you start talking about the Fannie Mae HomeStyle, there's no longer any fear because to them it's a conventional loan. So my last bullet point there is that perception is reality. Well, there are a lot of people that have a bad perception about FHA. I don't. I believe that maybe it was misused by people who didn't understand it. So I don't blame it on the product. I blame it on the user. But the Fannie Mae HomeStyle never had any of that negative press. Use that to your advantage. There are realtors out there who literally would probably just say no to an FHA remodeling situation, but would fully embrace the conventional option. So here you go. Once again, you have the multiple suites of products, FHA for the borrower that meets it, Fannie Mae for the more upscale type transaction, and you can actually market the two different products to two different types of real estate agents. There are some agents that are just in a government market, and there are other agents that are strictly in a Fannie Mae market. So this certainly expands what you can do as far as your sales and marketing opportunities. Now let's move over to the HomePath. This to me is the HomePath product. I think is an exciting opportunity for you to increase your marketing and your referral network. Remember, this product is only listed for exclusive listings for Fannie Mae products. And because it is limited and it is exclusive, there is the perception, there's that word again, but there's that perception that it's something special. Because whenever anything is perceived to be exclusive, there's this perception that it must have more value. That it's a greater deal for people. And you know what? In many cases, these HomePath properties are. Now, I look at HomePath, and what I try to teach people is, with HomePath, it's not the number of loans that you do as much as it is the amount of business partners that you're able to build. Because these listings are given to a very exclusive group of real estate agents that are Fannie Mae certified, Fannie Mae REO listing agents. Now, once you develop a relationship with these listing agents, one of the interesting dynamics is that these listing agents are so busy. What they do whenever they get an inquiry on one of their listings from a selling agent, they immediately turn that lead over to their lender partner, because they know this property is being listed exclusively as a HomePath listing. And Fannie Mae grades the listing agents based on the speed at which they sell these properties and the net proceeds. So how can you as a lender help an agent sell the property faster, get it to closing faster, and with higher net proceeds? Well, here's an idea for you. How about approaching these Fannie Mae agents, notifying them that you have the ability to do the full suite of products, and then literally go out and preview the listings that the agent has that is marked as a Fannie Mae renovation project, because you already know that the house needs some type of modification. That is why it's being advertised that way. Bring your contractor with you. Bring your consultant if you have a relationship with a consultant, and walk the properties. Walk through them. Do a sketch of a work write-up. Put together some tailored marketing flyers, and literally show this listing agent that you're completely different than all the other lenders, because you're interested in helping them get more listings for Fannie Mae. Because the faster they sell their existing inventory, the more listings they get. You now have become a partner and not a vendor. I would also look at getting lawn signs. Just something as simple as a lawn sign that you put in the front yard of the property that just advertises special financing and then has your telephone number on it will draw more leads to you. Now, Fannie Mae spends millions of dollars advertising on TV and radio and print media the HomePath options. So what I would do, Pam gave you the email address, the homepath.com. Go to homepath.com, but go there and literally take a look at, and I know this is going to sound kind of juvenile, but it's not. It's very important. Go and master and copy their logo. They allow lenders who are certified to utilize their logo. And Fannie Mae has a very distinct logo for their HomePath products. And they have a very distinct color scheme. So if you go out with colored flyers and you have the proper color scheme that Fannie Mae advertises themselves, coupled with their logo, the general population will believe that you yourself have been certified by Fannie Mae. So Fannie Mae's paying millions of dollars to advertise. Jump on those coattails. Ride this thing as far as you can. They're spending the money. Let you reap the benefits. Fannie Mae now is advertising. It's a special. I think it's a spring special where they're actually paying additional sales concessions for properties that come under contract for these HomePath properties. Condominiums, Pam mentioned in this, great opportunity. A lot of condominiums no longer are warrantable because of delinquencies in the condo fees and or the investor concentration. Well, with the HomePath property, guess what? They don't care. You can go in and do that renovation of that condo, and it doesn't have to be warranted. Now, one thing that I want to I want to just caution everybody on, and it's that last bullet point. No MI is required. Everybody loves that feature. They want to run out and sell that feature, and then all of a sudden they get the bid back from a contractor, and there's $40,000 worth of repairs. Well, Pam said it's limited to 35% of the after improved value, or $35,000. So if you've already sold this great feature of no mortgage insurance, but the property is going to require $40,000 worth of repairs, it's a little difficult to resell what you've already closed. So I would wait until you get a firm bid, or at least an initial bid from a contractor. That's why I think it's very important that you yourself have relationships with contractors and consultants, and you review these listings and you determine what the value is, so then you can sell the important feature of the no MI. We're in an interesting business, and the next slide is just simply titled Selling the American Dream. We're in a business that changes constantly, and we're put in a position where either we embrace the change or the market's going to move past us. Renovation financing is an opportunity, no matter what owner occupancy, second home investor, no matter what type of repair, it's an opportunity for you to go out and really reinvent yourself or modify your approach and literally focus on developing new relationships. If you have these relationships, whether they be with listing agents or whether they be with selling agents, the loans will come. The loans will be a byproduct of the relationship. But people that are out always looking for loans, they might get a loan. But somebody who is out developing a relationship may end up with 5 or 6 loans as a result of that relationship. So using the multiplier effect, I think that if you really embrace these products and you sit down and you spend a little time and you learn not so much what you can do, but what you can't do with each product, because there's only a few things that you can't do with each one. I think you're going to become an expert in your marketplace. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. We're running out of time, and we want to get to some questions. So we're going to bring you back for the Q&A as well. But I did just want to point out we do have additional information available to everyone. You can review any renovation products at www.efanniemae.com. Also, as we were saying during the presentation, make sure to contact your lender and even your REMN AE to learn more about the renovation products that we have. Or you can always visit www.remnwholesale.com to submit a help desk ticket for any renovation question you may have, for any of the renovation suite of products that we have, not just your HomePath renovation and your HomeStyle, as well as your 203K questions. You can review any of our renovation forms that we have there, and also obviously submit all your renovation loans through our broker portal. So with that, I do want to thank your time for today. We did get a lot of questions, so I wanted to start and make sure that we left just a few minutes to go through some questions. So I'm going to invite Steve Marshall back so that we can go through some. And one of the first ones that I do want to ask is, if a property is marked as a HomePath renovation, can we, and the borrower, you're speaking with the borrower, they actually want to do more renovations to the product, more than the limited of 35% or $35,000. Can we actually change that to a HomeStyle?
Certainly you can, certainly.
Okay, great, thank you. And are you able to subordinate a second lien on a HomeStyle rate and term?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then for your HomeStyle, does the properties have to be owned by Fannie Mae?
No, it's open to all properties. Remember, HomePath is just for purchases and only for purchases of Fannie Mae REOs. HomeStyle is open up to any particular home, whether it be a purchase or a refi.
That's great, thank you. And then are you able to have a high balance on a HomePath renovation or a HomeStyle?
Yes, on both of them it is available. That's correct.
Great. And once again, for your high balance, once again, you do want to check your lender's guidelines. Do you need MI for LTVs over 80% on HomeStyle loans?
Yes, you do. However, you can use single premium. So by pricing it as a single premium, you can build it into the closing cost, and actually the borrower would not have a monthly annuity payment.
Great, thank you. And here's our final question. Can you include paint and carpet as allowable repairs on both products?
Oh yes, I mean I mean you literally with the HomeStyle you can tear a house down and build it all the way up.
Great, thank you. I know that we have a lot more questions that we did receive. We are going to be going through those questions, and for those that we did not get to during our time frame today, we will be sending out a Q&A along with, as Beverly said before, a copy of the presentation, as well as a recording of today's presentation. So, Carl, I want to turn it back to you.
Well, I'd just like to thank Pam and Stephen and Beverly with National Mortgage Professional Magazine for allowing us to present today. I hope everyone is very, very excited to talk to existing and current customers, as well as future customers and referral sources about these great programs. And we hope to help you increase your business with the knowledge you learned today. So thank you very much, everyone. And by all means, reach out to REMNWholesale.com or your local REMN Wholesale account executive, because they're very knowledgeable about these loan programs. They'd love to help you out. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.